Oh, this is interesting. What is this?
Most people don't know how bicycles actually work.
I know how they work.
Let's try it again.
So we modified this bike to prove it.
Backwards.
This video is sponsored by KiwiCo. More about them at the end of the show.
When you're riding a bike...
Say it then. Okay. Okay. What do you mean how it works? How it works. The chain has gears, and when you pull on it, it makes the wheel turn because the chain pulls on the cogs, right? And the smaller the gear, the smaller the gear ratios.
The course of anti-venom is 40k, so it's rarely
Right?
given.
So
in
the more you have
US.
to pedal to get the wheel going. And then. What? I guess I know this.
More about them at the end of the show.
How does it keep balance?
When you're riding a bike and you want to turn left, I think most people just imagine you turn the handlebars to the left. This is a bike to test whether that is true, and it's made by my friend Rick here. And
Wait, so
he's got a
does that
radio
mean you
controller that
milked your
allows
snack
him to
2
lock out
times
the
when you
steering
streamed the
to
20 hours the
one
other day?
side.
You
So what he's going to
nasty
do is,
sucker.
as I'm biking, he's going to pick whether I can turn either to the left or to the right. So go for it.
I'm giving it a left turn. It pulls the pin out, but you can see that you can still fully steer. After I've pulled the pin out, I've armed it. There's where it locks.
Okay.
Now that's when your LED comes on. That just says turn that way.
Turn left.
Yeah.
And if I try to turn right,
Can't.
I can't. And if I try to turn left,
You can.
I can't. So the question is, can I successfully execute this left-hand turn? Should we give it a shot? I mean, he's not going to tell me whether it's left or right, so I have to look at the LED to know which way I can still turn.
You
Okay.
let me know when you're ready.
Why? You'll see why.
Okay. No! That was meant to be a turn to the right, but there was no chance in hell.
Left. Right?
Oh, because you counter steer first before turning a little bit to give it the angle.
All right. Left. Right. God.
If you look closely, you can see the problem. Here, I'm trying to turn right, but steering that way puts me off balance. If you could ride this bicycle, you would find it's impossible to turn left without first steering right, and it's impossible to turn right without first steering left. This seems wrong. I think most people believe you turn a bike simply by pointing the handlebars in the direction you want to go. After all, this is how you drive a car. Point the front wheels any direction you like, and the car just goes that way. But the difference with a bicycle is steering doesn't just affect the direction you're headed, it also affects your balance. Imagine you want to make a right turn, so you steer the
I get it
handlebars
now.
to the right. What you've done is effectively steered the bike out from under you, so now you're leaning to the left. And the ground puts a force on the bike to the left, so the only way not to fall is to steer the bike to the left. You have made a left turn. If you really wanted to turn right, you first have to counter steer to the left, so you can lean right into the turn. This is something anyone who rides a bike knows intuitively, but not explicitly.
Turn left.
Film someone riding a bike towards you and tell them which direction to turn, and you will find they counter steer without even thinking about it.
Hard left.
Ah.
When you're riding a bike, it's exactly the same as what we call an inverted pendulum or balancing a broomstick on your head.
Wire.
If I'm balancing it and I just start walking toward you, it will always fall away from you. If I want to walk toward you, it's easy enough to do, and people inherently know how to do it. If I pull it backward, I can now start walking that way. I have to.
That's why even when you learn to do the handstand, you have to learn how to do the handstand and the walking at the same time, because you have to learn the
initiate
balance
the lean.
behind it.
Yeah.
to turn into it.
If you want to move the pendulum somewhere, you first move the base in the opposite
You have to
direction.
learn how to balance while
And now
walking.
the pendulum is leaning in the direction you want
Bitch.
to go, so you can move with it. And it's the same with a unicycle. In order to go forward, first you have to pedal
Guys,
back.
because in order to go forward, when you're doing a handstand, you have to go backwards first.
So you're leaning forward,
To change-
and then
to
you can
change the center
go
of balance.
forward with it.
Everything you're doing on a
whatever.
unicycle is all about keeping that contact patch right where it needs to be relative to you. You're balancing the broomstick. It's just that on a unicycle, You do
Copy
the
video.
longitudinal balance with the pedals, and you
See?
do the lateral balance, the side to side, the same as you do with a bike. You essentially sort of small counter steer to get that weight, to get the contact patch out, and then you can pedal and bring it under you.
Now, I should point out that sometimes when the steering locked, we just happen to be leaning in the right direction to execute the turn.
Right.
Oh, managed it.
Essentially, by sheer luck, we had counter-steered before that side of the handlebars locked out.
Now I can keep going.
But don't turn left or you're gonna
Don't
be
turn left.
screwed.
I can't turn left.
Stop now.
What's interesting about this is it shows that you can still ride the bike
Guys,
perfectly
technically, couldn't you jump?
well, right? It's just you can't turn left. The funny thing is that you couldn't initiate the turn.
Right.
I mean, the wild takeaway is that steering
You
is not
could
just for turning
bunny
the bike.
hop
Steering
and
is for
angle
balancing.
it.
That's exactly right.
Why is it hard to balance on a stationary bike? I think most people believe it's because the wheels aren't spinning, so there's no gyroscopic effect. But that's not it. The truth is, you use steering to keep the bike underneath you. But steering doesn't work when you're stationary. Your balance comes not so much from how you position your body over the bike,
I
but by
understand.
how you
This
steer
is
the bike to
interesting.
keep it underneath
Chat,
you.
I'm gonna get my food chat and then we'll go
Even
next.
when going straight, you're constantly making small steering adjustments to maintain balance.
You're moving the contact patch of the front wheel under you. You're doing exactly what you do when you balance a broomstick on your hand.
And so, if the rider is responsible for steering the bike to keep it balanced, how do bikes without riders stay upright? As long as a bike is moving with sufficient speed, it can keep coasting indefinitely. I first became aware of this phenomenon through the great videos by Minute Physics, which inspired me to make this video. You should definitely check them out. But it turned out the ground where we went to test this effect was really bumpy. But the bike still manages to absorb all these perturbations and remain stable. So how does it do this? I think most people believe it's the wheels spinning that creates some sort of gyroscopic effect that resists falling over. Just like in this demonstration of gyroscopic precession. The wheel stays upright even though gravity is pulling it down. But this is not why bikes are stable. Just watch what happens when we lock the handlebars completely, so you can only go straight ahead.
Locked out. Whoa!
All that's happening is the steering is locked.
That was interesting.
You just gotta ride it. You don't have to turn. You just
Go straight.
Ride. Letting go.
Some people tried going really fast.
Holy crap, this is impossible.
Others experimented with extreme balancing techniques.
He's leaning.
Don't go
leaning
too
hard.
fast.
That was cool. Nah, I'm not gonna rewind it. I'm skipping. Guys, what is this, guys? I get it. I get the point. I get the point, man. What?
Whoa.
I got Pizza Hut, yeah.
But even with the gyroscopic effect of the wheels, no one was able to keep the bike upright for more than a few seconds.
Wow. This is not safe for a second.
It is just as hard to balance on a bike with locked steering as it is to balance on a stationary bike.
No. This one is impossible.
Because you can't
That was fun.